Assalamu alaikum. Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, today we're going to continue to learn Unreal Engine. So, one thing I did is that I added noise suppression, which is supposed to reduce the background noise in my video, in my audio. So, this time you hear me better. So, anyway, let's continue. Now, after we finish file top menu, we're going to learn edit top menu. I'm gonna try to make the edit top menu all at once, since there isn't any thing complicated in it. It's pretty easy to explain. Now let's go. Let's start with it. Now the first thing I have, the first category I have in edit top menu is history. History, which means the past. Which means the past. The first option in history category is undo clicking on events, and its shortcut is Control plus Z. Now, let's explain what this do. Let's demonstrate it. Let me just demonstrate it to you. Now, let's say I move this to the right, and then can come go to edit and undo all elements, and we will retrieve it or get it back to where it was. It's basically undo option, typical classical undo option that you have in pretty much all softwares today's. Now, this is pretty easy to understand, but what about the second one? The second one named redo move elements, and its shortcut is Control Y. Now, redo, it basically redoes what you undid. For instance, if I click on redo, it's going to get it back where it was, where I moved it. Now, redo option is only available after you undo something. It's not usually available. So it's only gonna be available. It's if you have something that you undid. If you didn't undo anything, it's gonna be grayed out and it's gonna say redo and the squares, nothing to redo, brackets closed. However, these two options is undo and redo. Pretty simple to explain. Now let's go to undo history. Now undo history. This might seem a bit new or a bit complex, but really it's not something that is that complicated. It basically shows all the undo actions or undoes you did, you clicked on, either by going to edit and clicking to undo or by pressing Control plus Z. Now, why this is gonna be useful? Well, maybe you don't want to undo the last option you did. Maybe you want to undo the option. There's something that you did uh, along the line. So you can go back here and look at the things you did. For instance, let's just try something new. Let's just try a bunch of actions like this, and rotate it like this, and then scale it a bit like this, and this. Okay. Now let's go to the undo history. Now we have more, as you can see. So let's just say I did all of this. Now I'm okay with doing all of this for like a scaling, but I'm not satisfied with the rotation that I did. I want to undo only the rotations. So what you're going to do is going to click on it and go back to last of it, jump to this transaction. You see, it's undid it, but it keep the scaling that I did. Oh no, that's not how it works. It's basically jumping all of this until it reaches the undo that you want to do. You want to undo. See? Okay, that's a bit different than the way I thought it's working. So basically, it's bulk undoing. Like it's undoing bunch of steps. I think it's kind of like shortcut. If you did a lot of undos, like you don't want to keep clicking on edit, then undo, then edit, then undo. Yeah. What you can do is go to undo history and click to the point or to the action that you did and you want to undo. It's also faster than clicking Control plus Z multiple times. It's also like very specific that instead of noticing the things that you did undoing on the screen, you can pretty much like look at it here and look at its name, so you can make sure you are reaching exactly the action that you did and undo to that specific point and no further. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty simple. I think these three options are pretty simple. Very nice. Now let's go to edit category. Now, if anyone can use copy the edit category options. Pretty easy, like they are pretty easy. You have used them in other places, so let's try to briefly explain them. The first option we have in the edit category of edit top menu, like this edit top menu, then edit category again, twice. So we have cut. Now cut is basically not removing, it's removing something from your viewport or removing something from a place and keep and storing it, invisibly storing it. Like if I cut this floor, it's not going to be visible on the viewport anymore, but it will be stored in my RAM, I guess, to use. So an example is going to be easier. Let's click cut. As you see, it disappeared. Now, when I cut something, I need to paste it in order to it to come back. Like maybe I cut it from here and I go here, like here, and I paste it. Oh, let's see, select this, and I paste it here. Yeah, as you can see, its destination is different now. It was over there, now it's over here. Now, cut is pretty different. Cut and paste. So, what cut does is take something. What paste does is retrieve it back. This might be useful when you want to move something from one place to another. Like if it was really far, it's not maybe practical using these arrows. So you use cut and paste option from edit top menu. Now what about copy? Now copy and cut are similar, but they're not the same. Now what copy does is when you click copy, the things that you have selected and you copy it, it stays where it is. But at the same time there's a version in your stored with you, and you can also paste. So let's just try it. When you copy this and move it, and then I paste it, as you can see, and now I have two versions of it. I have this version that I copied, which is the original version, and then I have this version that I pasted. It's copied version from this one. Now they are identical, exactly the same. Let's delete this. I'm going to teach you how to delete stuff as well. Now, the fourth option we have. Now the third option is paste, which is basically just putting something on the screen, but putting what you have stored on the screen, pasting, as when you copy and cut text, you paste it somewhere you want to paste it. Now the fourth option is duplicate. How about this one? Now instead of copying and then pasting something to make an exact version of something you selected, there is much easier a shortcut, which is to duplicate something. Okay. So something I want to also point out is that I forgot the shortcuts. Since these actions are so commonly used, we need to there's shortcut for them. And our shortcut for cutting is Control X. A shortcut for copy is Control C. Control Cut is Control X. I don't know what X is short for, but Control C, like from its name, is short C shortcut for copy, and Control V. I don't know what V plus V. I don't know what V is short for, but I think the reason it's V and not P is because the P is far away. It's much more easier if you can just press V. As you can see, X and C and V are right next to each other. Now duplication shortcut is Control plus D. Now D shortcut for duplication. So let's try to duplicate something. Okay, I clicked on this and I click duplicate. Now as you can see, nothing happened, but that's not actually true. The duplication did happen, but it's exact same location or transformation as the original one. So what I need is the wait, which one I'm choosing right now? Details. Which one? Yeah, and now when you duplicate something, your selection goes from original selected to you being selected the duplicated option. So now I'm selected in viewport duplicated version, not the original version. So when I move this, the original one is still in its place, while the duplicated one is the one I moved. Now duplication is kind of like shortcut for copying and then pasting. So we're not going to use copy and paste option much because there is duplication, but it also can be useful if you are, if you are making a copy of something and then transforming or moving it far away, then you don't want to just duplicate it at the same location that the original uh, object is at, or whether it's this model or anything else. The first option we have is delete. Its shortcut is delete key. Delete key is most of the time the last key in your keyboard, what up right corner, and unless you have numpad, which I don't, so you this is shortcut. So if you don't want to use the shortcut, I advise you to learn the shortcut because it's going to be faster. You can click on edit and click on delete. It's going to delete whatever you have selected. I want to point out also that it doesn't have to be just one object. If you select multiple objects, you can delete them. Now, this last thing we have is configuration category of edit menu. Now, configuration category have three options. First one is editor preferences, second one is project preferences, and the third one is plugins. Now, I'm not going to fully explain these three options because I'm going to do different episodes on them because they are so much thing to explain. Let me show you. Editor preferences, when I click on it, I get to open a window. Now, as you can see, this is pretty much a lot of options. I mean, look at this. It's blocks and blocks and categories and upon categories of options and selections and choices to be made and things to be explained. So it doesn't make sense me going in and explaining it in this part, but I will do it in future episodes. maybe after I get a general overview of Unreal Engine 5, and when I get to specific or later on hard things, similar to editor preferences, we have project settings, which is the settings of your projects. We have a lot of options to here, a lot of them. I'm going to explain them. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make them as easy as possible. Like if I understand something, I doubt it unless like I don't know, you have mental issues. I doubt it that's going to be hard to anyone else to understand. Like if I can do it, anyone can do it. Yes, I don't know. I meet a lot of people sometimes. The third option is plugins. Now, plugins options is basically features that uh, can be added to uh, Unreal Engine. Plugins are like add-ons in Blender. If you have ever used Blender, so these things like add extra features, but sometimes you don't want to enable all of them because this is going to slow down your PC and your Unreal project by a lot. Now these features you don't want to enable them unless you actually need them. So as you can see, they are. This is all the plugins that there is. It's 478. You can also add plugins, like if you have custom plugins. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's online place for plugins to download. And then you have here, which is they are categorized. Yeah, all the plugins are categorized to what specific area they are involved in. Like for instance, this one is for 2D. So if you don't like, if you're not going to make a 2D game, why would you let something like this enabled? So always a good uh, Unreal Engine game developer always disables all the plugins that he doesn't need in his game in order to boost its optimization and its performance. It's really like it's one of the stupidest thing you can do is to let the things that you don't need, you don't actually use in your engine to stay enabled, or to enable something they don't use in your engine. Anyway, I will going to explain to you later on. Now, the this is the edit menu. I think it was pretty easy. We go to undo and redo and undo history and cut and copy and paste and duplicate and delete. And then we have configuration category, which is editor preferences, project settings, and plugins. These three are actually necessary to learn. And if my video is out, inshallah, I hope you watch it because I really didn't seen anyone explain this editor preference or project setting or plugins easily, simply. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at explaining things easily and not to ever overwhelm anyone. Okay, so this is gonna be it. So we're gonna use the exit option that we learned last episode to exit from Unreal Engine project, and yeah, save it. That's gonna be it. See you later. Goodbye.